We continue to see the major organizations around the world putting out documents and articles that almost nobody actually looks into or reads. But if you actually do look into them and read them and study them, then you know where all of the money is about to go. It's about to flood in to the tokenization of everything around us. And DLT, blockchain, and the big players in crypto are going to be the ones that reap the rewards. And by being an investor in the underlying assets that power these networks, that means that we will also get extremely wealthy and benefit as well. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So recently, the World Economic Forum put out an article, and this goes back to December 10th, and we have financial and monetary systems, how tokenization is transforming global finance and investment. Now, I went and summarized this with ChatGPT just to save you guys some time, but we have here summary. The rise of tokenization in financial markets. The tokenization of financial assets on blockchain is gaining traction globally, particularly at institutional and governmental levels, promising to revolutionize how financial and physical assets are exchanged. Tokenization involves creating digital representations of assets on a blockchain, enabling real-time, secure transactions. After years of investment, proof of concepts, and testing, this technology is moving from theory to practice, addressing fragmented financial systems and inefficiencies. The key advantages of tokenization include improved efficiency, global connectivity, collateral mobility, and even cost savings. Now, this one I actually want to put a spotlight on because this is very significant in terms of this efficiency. DLT offers potential annual savings of $15 to $20 billion in infrastructure operations and frees up over $100 billion in capital through efficient collateral management. So when anyone is saying, why would any bank, why would any institution, why would any major player utilize tokenization? This is why. The amount of money that tokenization is going to save for these big players is ridiculous, which is exactly why they will all flood in. We have real-world applications are underway with initiatives like the Hong Kong Monetary Authority's Project Evergreen, tokenized mutual funds from BlackRock and Franklin Templeton, and tokenized gold and bonds by Euroclear. Institutions like the European Investment Bank and Goldman Sachs have adopted tokenization to streamline bond issuance. Governance remains a critical challenge with questions around ledger ownership, security, privacy, and compliance. Solutions like the Global Synchronizer Foundation, governed by market participants and supported by the Linux Foundation, aim to provide transparency and neutrality in decentralized systems. Tokenization is poised to create a digitally native global economic network, connecting markets, improving financial inclusion, and setting new standards for modern capital markets. As adoption accelerates, tokenization will redefine global finance, offering fairer, more resilient systems. So when we think about what this is actually doing, tokenization is going to ultimately revolutionize finance. Everything that has a dollar figure value to it. It is all going to be touched by tokenization. Now, on top of this, there's a great video that got posted by Subjective Views, and this is Clearbank, potential Ripple partner. I might get into that in another video, but you know, they are a potential Ripple partner who banks Coinbase, Kraken FX, and Crypto.com, says $2.2 quadrillion worth of equities, bonds, real estate, and derivatives will be tokenized. When the big players like this, when the giants in the room are telling you what's happening, it's probably best to listen. But check this out.
My name's Johnny Fry. I work for a company called Clearbank. How many of you heard of Clearbank out of interest? I'll put a market research. Blimey, it's getting better.
Now, by the way, real quick, I just want to pause this because I did include a few clips from this this conference. This is an incredible conference if you guys do get the chance to go and listen to it all. There's a lot of great, there's a lot of great discussions and a lot of information that is dropped within this conference that could ultimately reshape your entire outlook on this space going forward. So definitely go and listen to it if you haven't already, but check it out.
The PR is obviously working. Clearbank, rather unusual, they're the first bank in 250 years to be granted clearing bank status and having built effectively a fintech infrastructure provider, we now find ourselves at an interesting juncture that our clients have only got about 270, ranging from very large global credit card companies down to small sort of fintech businesses. Unlike many clearing banks, we're not frightened of crypto. We actually bank Coinbase, Kraken, and Crypto.com because they're all regulated in some shape or form, and therefore we are happy to engage very much with the tokenized space. Having said that, we always like to bear in mind that the crypto market is a couple of trillion, and I know many of you heard me say this loads of times before, but the real world of equities, bonds, real estate, and the big daddy is derivatives, which I know Richard Barker at the back of the room will no doubt talk about the other day. It's 2.2 quadrillion, and we think that a big chunk of that 2.2 quadrillion over time will get digitized, tokenized, and therefore we would disagree with Gartner's. We think that we're actually an inflection point, not a trough of disillusion.
What do you plan to do over the, say, next 30, 60, 90 days to define a plan for your new path?
A lot of work to be done. Locking up banking partners, critical, and also just other service providers in the industry. You know, you really can't go it alone, and we try to stick to our lane. And obviously, we're going to seek approval to issue a stablecoin. We're going to do that on the XRPL ledger in addition to Ethereum. So excited about that. Locking up banking partners, critical.
And yeah, I mean, when we think about some of those potential partners, Ripple definitely is one that could be a banking, partner. So we've gone over that many times. But what's crazy about this is the amount of money, right? $2.2 quadrillion. We've been hearing about quadrillions of dollars from Archax, for an example, as well. And talking more so about Archax, right? Remember that they did partner with Ripple back in June of 2024. They announced their extension to their existing collaboration, expecting to bring hundreds of millions of dollars of tokenized real-world assets onto the XRP ledger over the coming year. Now, that was back in 2024. We have yet to see a significant amount of that actually flowing onto the XRPL. There's probably a few things that are still waiting to be, pushed, like some of the amendments. But I will say this right now. When we look at Archax, they are a leading name in this space, and they have already, given us an insight on how much money's out there and why majority of it will flow on chain through these public blockchains. In fact, all of it will. Eventually, it's not going to happen overnight, but eventually it will. But we also have over here, Archax, in collaboration with Ripple, has launched the first tokenized money market fund on the XRPL. This groundbreaking initiative brings tokenized assets to Aberdeen, $3.8 billion US liquidity fund, paving the way for enhanced operational efficiencies and institutional adoption of RWA tokenization. And remember that Hedera also has a partnership with Archax. This is actually with Aberdeen's multi-billion pound money market fund as well, using Hedera. Again, the key players are being tapped in. They are being chosen. Hedera and Ripple have been chosen for a while around this space. But I want to go back to August of 2023 because, IOV_owl did post this. I actually know this document. I included it in a video probably a few months back actually now. But we have found during research last week, Archax tokenization roadmap. All asset classes globally move on chain, medium term. That means not long term. We're talking medium term. Market opportunity is every tradable asset class in existence. Think about how insane this is. Coming from a name like Archax. This is not some random individual posting this on X. No, this is coming from Archax themselves that is dealing with some of the biggest names out there. Archax tokenization engine recently tokenized a 15 billion pound fund on Hedera. Over here, we have the full breakdown, right? If you believe, as we do, that this means all asset classes everywhere can benefit from tokenization and will move on chain in the medium term. The market opportunity is actually every tradable asset class in existence. We have the world money perspective versus the asset classes. We have 205 billion for Bitcoin. Again, today, completely different story. 340 billion all cryptocurrencies, 647 billion other funds, 812 billion private debt, 1.6 trillion Amazon, 1.9 trillion Apple, 1.9 trillion USD in circulation. Now, yes, a lot of this has changed over time, but on the right side, a lot of these markets and a lot of these asset classes are still hovering around their same amount, if not more. Like global real estate, they have 281 trillion. I think it's now over $360 trillion. Derivatives over 558 trillion. Public debt 253 trillion. All the money 96 trillion. Stocks 90 trillion. Like when we think about how much money is out there, how much money will be touched by tokenization, I keep bringing it up because, guys, I don't think that you realize how massive this space is going to be when it is fully regulated and utilized within the tokenization of every, single asset out there. This is an absolute game changer. I want you guys to realize that. And, when we go back to Hedera, when we go back to Ripple, I say that these two have been chosen. I say that these two have been chosen simply by going through all the connections, right? You go through the connections. When I saw Archax coming up quite a bit around Hedera and Ripple, I didn't think too much of it. But then all of a sudden you had Lehman Baird talking with Brad Garlinghouse saying like, hey, there's a lot of stuff that we could do together. I think we're starting to see this legitimized network of, big players in the space coming together to work together on ultimately pushing the space forward. And those are going to be the winners that are still here, after regulations and after all the garbage is, wiped out. Now we know that Ripple is in discussions with Hedera. They're like the main two, obviously. But then you also have Casper on there. You have Algorand. You have Cardano. You have Quant. Stellar. I mean, there's a lot of great names in the space. But, when we think about tokenization, Hedera and Ripple, the moves that have been being made are very, very interesting. And they are very significant. Now, I obviously have to mention Stellar, right? They have over $300+ million tied to their name through Franklin Templeton. That's definitely a big one. But, I think everyone should focus on Ripple and Hedera. I really do think everyone should be focusing on these moves being made because these are two names that continue to be mentioned on every single, document around some very heavy hitting names. I'm not just talking about the, World Economic Forum here. I'm talking about some very heavy hitting names. Now, also to wrap up this video continues to get posted around. This is a video clip of Larry Fink, but it's 28 seconds long. And I just want you guys to listen to this again. You could repeat it over and over and over and over again because it is so important to focus on. Because again, this is not just some small fish talking to you. This is Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. The next generation of markets is tokenization of RWAs.
I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
And again, like I said, this is the largest asset management company telling you what's going to be happening around these markets. This is a name that has connections to almost every single asset class out there. And they are telling you what's going on, what's happening right now. People need to wake up and realize that this is not just going to be a 4-year cycle, right? Like, I don't care about the 4-year cycle. I get it. We're here to get paid. We're here to make money, and we will. We'll take profits. But long term, I'm telling you guys right now, this space, these utility projects that have legitimate use case value behind them, the ones that are actually paving a way, forward by working with names like Archax, they are going to be worth massive amounts of money. And I say that in all seriousness. We are witnessing an evolution of financial technology like like we've never seen before. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.